Is there anything wrong with me? Is there really anything wrong with me? No, there's nothing wrong with me. Why is it that you just put yourself online and people just automatically think there's something wrong with you? Like they're trying to find something wrong with you. They're trying to see something. They're trying to find something. So what are all these things? What are all these things that are wrong with other people that make me watch them or not watch them or whatever, you know? And sometimes it's just like, why am I even relating to anybody? Why am I even seeing anybody as something that I can, grasp or weave into or really belong beside? Why do I need to do that? Is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me if I do or don't do something? If I act away or I don't act away? And I just think it's funny because over a long period of time, it's almost like I don't really mind having something wrong with me. In fact, I think some people, they kind of live for that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? It's really dramatic when you have something wrong with you, isn't it? I mean, if you didn't have something wrong with you, then you'd probably be bored, you know what I mean? There's got to be something wrong with you or someone else because if you're not the problem, someone else is the problem, then maybe you can help them with that problem. You know what I mean? So there's something wrong with them, and you help them, and you're in the power position, so you are in the perfect kind of box that society wants you to be in. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it's about. It's about being in this little box of certainty and reason, and I have things together. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm headed. But maybe it is just a bunch of crap. You know what I mean? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. It is, but it's kind of not. But I don't know. But I guess you can think whatever you want. Do you really need friends? I don't know. I mean, maybe the whole idea of friends was invented or came about because people needed other people to do things for them. Thus, they're just using them for financial gain. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we gotta go like hunt an animal and eat it, but I need you to help me. You know what I mean? We need to go pick some berries. We need to go do whatever it is we need to do to survive. You know what I mean? But I need you to do that. So, you know what? I'll go get the meat and you go wash the clothes and you go get the wood, right? So that's kind of like the basic survival. That's kind of old school though. Like, how is it nowadays? Okay, well, we pay people to do a bunch of different things, right? But realistically, you could probably just sit at home all day alone and do nothing. You know what I mean? You don't have to have any kids. You don't need to get married. But you should probably have some kids and get married because you don't want to end up like me. Just kidding. But is there something wrong with me? You know, if I talk negatively about myself, if I appear so desperate or lonely, scared, broken, mentally ill, depressed, insane, you know, all of these different things, tainted, tainted. That's what it is. It's tainted. You're tainted with something. Everybody, it's like you're tainted or you're not tainted. And I wish it wasn't such a problem, but it just seems like it's going to be a problem no matter what. Like something's going to be wrong with someone. Isn't that what we're all just looking for? And I don't want to do that to people. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm trying to teach people or something. But that's just the whole thing. Maybe it's me seeing a problem with other people and I have to do something for other people. And I wonder, like, am I really doing anything for anyone? Am I really doing anything? Like what is it to be funny? What is it to, entertain people? What is it to be dramatic for people, to show them something, to prove something to them, to be a friend, you know what I mean? In a way that your real friends can't be, It's like, watching some movie, and the action star takes you on this adventure and things happen and there's twists and turns and it's like your best friend, isn't it? Isn't that like your best friend? Like this person is like the perfect example of a friend that I will never have. And that's why I'm watching it. That's why I'm paying to watch this. This isn't like master the idea of friendship, you know? And that's what I had to learn too. I'm like, dude, You look, man, if you're gonna put yourself on camera, you have to have some common ground with other people. You have to find something in common. You have to like say something useful, something interesting. You got to be able to provide them with something. You know what I mean? Because you're essentially providing them a service. Unless you just want to just be like, you know what, whatever. I don't even know. I don't even know what my purpose is on here. I'm just screwing around. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know if that really gets you too far, but maybe it's the answer, really, because there's always got to be something wrong with you, right? There's something wrong with you if you don't post a video and it goes viral, you know? It's just like whatever. You know what I mean? It's like whatever. Yeah, right. You know, that's not real. You know what I mean? And like I said, so that's like putting you in the box again. You're forced in the box. You know, you're not living up to these expectations again and again and again and again. And you know, it's like, what is it to be remembered? You know, when most people probably won't be remembered, and you shouldn't sink. You shouldn't let your stomach sink. You know what I mean? Because that's what happens to a lot of people when they realize things in life, and it's just such cruel and truth and things happen to people. You know, like bad things happen to good people, and then terrible people end up, you know, getting away with things. And you know what I mean? It's just it's hard. It's hard. I get it. I get it. It's terrible. You can't trust anyone. You know, no one cares. The whole no one cares mentality. So you just got all these different things. These kind of dynamics that create the modern ideal of people. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because a lot of these things will make you feel bad or feel good, and it really comes down to it. It's just like, man, do I really need to do that? Do I really need to do that? Do I really need to go back into that area, where it's like, yeah, yeah, I'm doing what everybody thinks they should be doing. Yeah, I'm saying things that people think I should be saying. Yeah, yeah, if I had a lot of money, maybe people would pay attention to me. If I was flashing things and bragging about it and showing my worth to other people, wow, that is such a good way to show people what I really am and show them what they can become. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. It's just like, why does there always have to be something wrong with everyone? But it's like, you just answer the question. You're gonna be a part of it no matter what. I mean, that's the terrible part about it. Is you're gonna be a part of the system of destruction and beauty, and it's just it's just this cycle. You know what I mean? It just kind of pulls you in, and there's nothing you can do, right? But when it really comes down to it, maybe that's all just being dramatic. Maybe all of these things we talk about are just, I don't know, maybe they're not very sturdy. And to sit here and say, yeah, there's nothing wrong with anyone, okay? Look, people have problems and it's normal. Come on. Because it's like if I don't have a problem, if I don't have something wrong with me, then I'm in the area that's of society that is supreme, that is superb, that speaks to my character and my existence and my superiority, my stature, my thrusts, my moves, my legs moving, my hands doing the things that they do, you know. Um, what I kind of found out is there aren't very many people that have like serious things wrong with them, which is pretty crazy. Like, and like having something wrong like mentally, or there's something about them that there's something really wrong with them. And it's crazy because if you go like read stuff, it's almost like just like a manifestation of just trying to entertain yourself with the thought of something being real or not. Like, I'm an introvert. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's really, it's almost like a thing you are. Like, and it just, you can even just get it down to like just like musical genres and kind of what that creates, because it's like, oh, I'm punk rock. I'm a gangster, right? I'm a metalhead. Oh, I don't even know what you call some of those pop music fans, but you know what I mean? Like, you feel such a strong connection to this person who practically manufactured the connection. And that's kind of the funny thing, isn't it? Isn't that kind of the peak of a human being's existence, when they can take advantage of other people without them even like without them knowing it, but maybe some people do know it and they're willing to pay for it, which is kind of weird if you think about it. Like you're searching for a connection with through a random person who's gonna perform something for you. You know what I mean? Like whether it be comedy or music or like whatever it is. Like you're searching for some kind of connection, and you're willing to pay top dollar for that because real life just isn't really that great, And so what happens when that's so convenient? Like I said, like people that don't have anything wrong with them, it seems like everything goes good for them. It seems like they kind of get nudged in a corner too. Like you have everything going for you, you know? That that's almost a bad thing. You know what I mean? So you can't really win. It's straight insanity. It really is. You can never win. I think the best thing you can have is have something to look forward to. I mean, I think no matter who you are, you need something to look forward to. So if you have like a bunch, like say you have like not very many people are rich, you know what I'm saying? But say you have a bunch of money, or say you have like a good relationship, because that's actually a lot of worth right there. Like if you have someone you actually care about, and you feel like there's a real connection, you know what I mean? That's like worth I think that's worth a lot. It's not you can't really put a price tag on it, but like if you just look at like all the connections that people try to manufacture, like these fake connections that you just kind of roll with because maybe you just don't have any connection to anyone in real life. So you kind of find your place among the slugs, among the snails, whatever you want to put it, you know what I mean? Among the eagles, whatever your spirit animal is. And so, having that real connection is, it's something that a lot of people don't have. But I don't know, to have a functional family, is probably something that not a lot of people can say they have. Or, maybe you grow apart from your family, or, things just aren't the same, or, you just live with people enough and it's like, I just want to move on or something, especially if there's something wrong with them. But when I guess when you really look at it, some people do have some serious things wrong with them. Like I don't know, man. I think like some jobs that people take, you almost got to be just completely crazy to do them. But it's almost crazy in your own way. Like to try to post up on the internet, like hey, like almost like you're just some person on the street that just made this little counter out of cardboard, and I'm setting up shop. Here I am. You know what I mean? Cha-ching. I'm gonna make a joke. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. At least I'm gonna try to cha-ching with my little cardboard little house that I live in over here, trying to act like, hey, I'm going places, as long as I keep the faith, and as long as I keep moving forward and believe myself, I'm going to turn this cardboard into gold. And one day that gold is going to turn into diamond. And one day that diamond is just going to burst into this infinite energy that just, you can't even put a price on it. I don't know. I wish. Um, so yeah, I mean, there are some serious things wrong with people, you know what I mean? It's probably like a low percentage though, like, there are a lot of people in prison, you know, and there are a lot of people that have like mental issues, and then there's a lot of people that have problems, but they don't care. They don't address them. It's probably not even relevant because they're just gonna be gone one day, and maybe the problem that they had didn't inconvenience them as much as you think it did, and maybe the problem is actually a perk for them. Maybe they enjoy it. Some people like the bad side, the dark side. Some people like just being that person. They want to be that person, you know what I mean? And especially nowadays, people will do anything to get attention. They literally will do anything, dude. And sometimes, you have some people that are desperate enough to do just the unthinkable, you know what I mean? Just to get noticed, just cuz they want a piece of that, you know? And, for me over here, I mean, I've been working a long time doing what I'm doing, just doing what I want to do. And you question yourself, for me especially, because I always just like not to be negative, but I'm almost like, dude, like, what's wrong with you? Why are you so inspired? Like I know there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's completely fine, but it's like at the same time you question it, it's like, is there something wrong? Like, why are you trying to overachieve? Because I think like some people overachieve because they almost have some mental issue where like they were never were able to do things as a kid, so then they try to overachieve as they get older and stuff. But I don't know if that's really true. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's really nothing wrong with people. Like especially that kind of stuff. Like it's kind of like a hard ball to pitch. You know what I mean? I think a lot of it is a hard ball to pitch. It's kind of a hard thing to like convince someone. Unless they're just gullible. That's what I'm saying. So like you go online and you like read something, or you you read some book, or you hear some song, and there's something in that, and it's almost like a cultic beginning for you, because you start to believe in this thing, or you start to apply it to yourself, and it's like maybe it has nothing to do with you, maybe there's nothing wrong with you, because I think that little idea right there is entertaining. The whole idea of something being wrong with you, that's what people are interested in, dude. It's like people are interested in solving some kind of problem with themselves because they want to live up to more, because they want to fit in, but they also want to succeed. So they got all this different stuff. And like some people, they don't even care about it. Do you ever wonder where everyone is and what they're doing? Do you just like ever think about that? Like if you go and like pay attention to something online, right? And you say, yeah, this is truth. This is speaking truth. Like you could even be watching this and just be like, yeah, this is speaking truth. This is speaking truth. Like this is something like valuable or something. Like this appeals to me, and and it's just, man, I feel like I'm like a preacher or something right now. I'm not trying to do that, okay? I'm just a guy talking. I'm not. Oh, that's like a genre of speaker. Okay, there's different genres of speakers, and you kind of have the comedic genre of speaker, and that's kind of what I'm going for. But I don't want to be like typically preaching, like comedic preacher type genre. So I'm trying not to really do that. But yeah, you just come on and see, that's the thing right there. That's funny right there. Just that idea right there. Look at that. Like I look at it and I'm like, there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. And I think that's what people is. That's like almost human consciousness revolves around that whole idea of something being wrong with you. And the only way to really get farther in the puzzle, to complete the maze of life, is to realize everything that's wrong with you and be able to fix it. And then, oh, you grew and you succeeded, and oh wow, just flowers through the blue perfect sky, and just the heavens open up, and wow, you just ascended, I guess. I don't know, painting a picture for you, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, even that right there, just like my presence here, there's just like so many things that could be wrong with me, right? Like just someone talking on camera, there can be so many things wrong with them that really anybody that's here doing this is only trying to figure out how to do it all right, how to do everything right. Okay. Okay. Well, that's kind of self-explanatory. I mean, you probably don't want like certain things wrong with you. Like, I wouldn't, just randomly like cut your nose off or something. I mean, if you don't have a nose, that might, be a factor. But if you want to try to challenge yourself and do it without a nose, or maybe try to almost talk like you're barely making sense. Like, right, yeah, making sense. If you wanted to do the whole thing like that in that language, I don't know, make it hard for yourself. Go ahead, but that means there might be something wrong with you. Like me, like like right here, right now, is the things that could be wrong with me is like I like a greedy person, or a person who's here to motivate someone, almost like condescend them, like almost corny, so there's like all these things that can be wrong with me. Like I'm just trying to give people what they want, you know what I'm saying? So when I talk, I don't really want to be like this greedy person who's just trying to like take advantage, but I don't want to be that like comedic imbecile that's just so hyperly you know so 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 offensive that you're just hyperventilating your bad behavior into another person, you know like I'm just trying to like give you CPR, in the worst way possible. you know? And that's kind of it too. It's almost like you're trying to, bring someone back to life. You're trying to reboot them. You're trying to show them the light. You know what I'm saying? Like a Jesus or something, or like you're just some amazing thing. Like I'm Santa Claus. I'm gonna come down out of the sky on my sleigh and just give you a bunch of presents or something. You know what I mean? So I don't know, you kind of got to be realistic with it, like, but I do want to be that. I do kind of want to be that. Like I want to be the person that's like giving people something. So you gotta kind of think about what you're giving people. You got to think about what they're giving, because the ultimate gift that you could give when being funny is just to make someone laugh, and then after they laugh really hard, they got to enjoy themselves. So there's a certain tolerance level there. But if you could even achieve that, you know what I mean. So that's just what I try to do, to constantly do it. But you know, and that's something that's wrong with me too. If I make a particular video and I'm not funny, I'm not looking good. I'm not in the zone, And like honestly, it's just like, I don't even care. I'm just gonna make my stuff, but I want to try to make everything go right. So if you think about it, really, I mean, I think most people have a lot of things wrong with them and they can't really do anything about it. But it might not be as dramatic as you think when you're living with something for so long. You might figure out how to fix it or change it or like be different, or you might just live with it because you're just like, maybe I'm just too lazy. Just like, I'm too lazy to make friends. I'm too lazy to really, further my life, or like maybe I'm just too lazy to even be in a relationship. Maybe all I want is just to sit here and work and work and work, because all I'm really focused on is getting somewhere, you know, with what I'm doing, and my stuff that I'm doing. Um, but I mean, as far as like I go, I mean, I think that I don't think anybody's perfect, but I definitely think that I probably have less wrong with me than some people out there that would try to do this kind of stuff. And I think that especially comedy can attract some pretty terrible people sometimes, and they might get the wrong impression of you, and they don't really know what you're about until they take a little bit more of a peek or something. So, you know, I I guess I just sit here trying to not have things wrong with me to the point of, just being so appalling and just unenjoyable experience. That's probably the best thing that you can do. But, some people just try so hard. You try too hard. It's really easy to try too hard. You get really inspired, you're just so like, yeah, like I want to get in there and do things. And then you just, I don't know, like you might, there might be some people that like you, but then you might just be missing out on a whole chunk of action just because you tried too hard, or you didn't try hard enough, or you just didn't have the right groove. The right groove, because it's all a genre, it's all a style, So the best thing you can do is just be lucky. That's how you have everything right with you in the world. Trust me. It's basically just a lottery ticket, all right? That's all it really is. If you really look at it, it's like, okay, well, everything is right with me. If if I'm rich and I have friends and people like me online and I had the perfect body, and I don't know, and you just look at all that stuff and it's like, man, wow. Maybe I should stop being a mistake and just realize everything that I need to do, to make everything right. I need to make everything right with all the people that think there's something wrong with me. You know that just like not being like physically peak, that's something that people view as something wrong with you. Like just that alone, or just the way you look, that there's something wrong with you. Just one little thing, and there's something wrong with you. And so, it is true. I mean, we can only change so much. So, like me, I was over here thinking like, man, I want to get like a perfect body. I just want to say screw it all. I just want to be like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm so done. I'm done. I'm done. And I do work out every day, but I was just thinking like, maybe you should just do it. You know, maybe you should just do it. Just you know what? Just see that you have something wrong with you and fix it. Fix yourself. Fix your body. Fix the world. And that's kind of the thing too, is like maybe people don't have things wrong with them so much as there's just so much wrong with the world. So, it's kind of not your fault, you know? But I think that just people get obsessed about all of that stuff. Like every little thing, they just obsessed over everybody, And if you're not, then you're on the other side of the spectrum. You're over there just like not caring about nothing, anything, nothing. You're just like, yeah, I've come to accept that there are things wrong with me. You know, that's what it's like. It's like you just accept it. You're just like, okay, whatever. I have things wrong with me. Whatever. I'm gonna show my flaws. I'm gonna show my flaws. And that's kind of the funny part. So, so in nature, if there's an injured animal in like a herd, like a lion will hunt it and take it. Like water buffalo or whatever. They always try to get the injured one because they're easier to kill. They're easier to take down. So they constantly watch for an injured gazelle or buffalo, whatever. And you think about society, I think it's the same way. Like if you're if there's something wrong with you and you're almost like you're injured, you know what I mean? And like other people will take you down. That's what it's almost like. Like the superior human wins. The injured people don't get a part of the high life. And that's what it almost seems like to me. Like I almost feel like if there's something wrong with me, I'm just an injured animal. And think about this. Think about this for a second. Maybe some people are just a prized injured animal, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Because it's like you're a fan of this person, man, and maybe there's something wrong with them, but maybe they're putting it online and they're showing people like, hey, I don't care. Like me, like I think a big thing with me is I come off as really crazy and stuff, and I have kind of this self consciousness that kind of. Well, I mean, I think I've pretty much demolished it, but I pretty much had this thing where I felt almost like injured or damaged, like damaged goods, because I was just so crazy for so long, and then I started to get better and stuff, and well, for the most part, everybody has their struggles and stuff. I guess I don't want to give too much information out here, but no, I actually already did. I wrote a memoir, probably because I was that desperate and lonely and just wanted to give people my private information because I felt like I had a connection, but maybe I'm searching for a connection, but I'm just complaining. I'm crying around about things that are unrealistic. um, But no, that was one thing with me is like I'm crazy. I have something wrong with me. Like I have something wrong with me, and everybody knows, and it's constantly there. You can't get away from it. And I've seen that. I've seen that. And it's crazy because I'm kind of on the fence with this, and I think a lot of people end up facing this in their lifetime. Like you end up facing this problem where you're like, okay, there are obviously things wrong with people. Okay, they can be dramatic about it. They can do whatever, because people take it to the extreme. Like, they might not want to live anymore because there's something wrong with them, and it's like, I think that's the one thing that you got to realize. Is like, hey, there might be something wrong with you, but you know, and then if some people are on the other side, they're just like they don't even care. Like I said, it's almost like, but okay, so there's some people that don't care that there's something wrong with them, and then there's some people that don't care that there's something wrong with you because they want to make themselves look like the better person. They think they're a better person. They're in that better genre, kind of like they're in the fleeting force. They're on the front lines of humanity and what it has to offer as far as quality human beings. So it's like you kind of I don't know. You kind of don't want to subject yourself to those kinds of people, but then again, I just think it's all just like that whole kind of game. Like people are just like, there's so much right with me. There's so much right with me. I feel good. There's so much wrong with me. There's so much wrong with me. I feel bad. And this person affirmed it, and this 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 positively affirmed it. And I like this musical artist or this movie or this comedian or this thing that offers me this sense of comfort. It tells me that I don't have anything wrong with me. This person made me laugh because it made me feel like I had a connection to them, and thus I had nothing wrong with me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really want to say that that's all that's going on, but I kind of think that that's what a lot of people are looking for because maybe there's nothing else in life to really look for. And then once you get past that phase, maybe you just move on to another phase. And I think a lot of people are in the greed phase. So maybe they already thought about all this stuff, or maybe they skipped it. They skipped forward, you know what I mean? They fast forwarded. They skipped to the next scene, you know? They went to the next level. They just skipped the boss fight and went on. But this one thing that people have to face is there are things wrong with other people, and you can have a heart and sympathize with them, or you can just like kind of just accept that, hey, there's things wrong with people and I don't want to be a part of that crowd, right? So I don't know, man. I mean, it's like maybe you don't really want to like be like bullying people because there's something wrong with them, or hating them because there's something wrong with them, or anything like that. I mean, you can essentially just tap on out and not be a part of any of it, because and that's what I'm saying, is because when you tap out, then it's like it's not even real. But think about this: why do you even conceptualize? Why do you even think there's something wrong with a person? Like, what? Why is it a problem to have something wrong with you? Like, like say like, oh, I'm crazy, or I'm lonely, or I'm desperate, or like what other ones? This makes me incapable of creating relationships, of doing positive things, of becoming richer because of what people think of me. I don't know. I think that if you want to be richer, shouldn't be so concerned about what people think of you, because you know to try to get rich off of something like entertainment is probably just a pipe dream for the most part. You should probably get into stocks and stuff. You know what I mean? But even then, it's pretty rare to get rich. Or just so I hear. You have to be smart. You have to do everything right. You can't be flawed, you know? But I think everybody kind of reaches that point because it's almost a controversy. It's pretty much a controversy of, how you kind of sympathize with other people or empathize with them. And, I don't know. It gets pretty ruthless, when the way that people think, you know? Like the way that some people like just think about an internet video, you could just be so casual, but they just kind of throw it to the ropes. But I mean, like, what are you hiding from anymore? That's kind of where I'm at. It's like, what are you hiding from? What are you so scared of? You're scared of the truth. You know that there's something wrong with you in the video you made, and you're like damaged goods, and you're not living up to the alpha agenda of you know the United States of jerk offs. But it's just a joke. But yeah, it's just kind of crazy to, kind of go down that route. And it almost just like, when you think about all that stuff enough, it just kind of drives you crazy. But it's kind of funny because it's just like, no matter what way you think of it, it's probably still gonna be there. But you could just as well probably just let it just disappear, pursue other options. And it's just, but it's also kind of stupid how people are so interested in all of that kind of stuff, because they're so concerned with all these little genres, like these little speck of 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 drama. It's like just this genre of a human being, this niche of a shell that's just like cliche in itself. But what I found is I'm kind of a slave to certain things. I'm kind of a slave to entertaining, myself with something in a particular way. So, depending on what I'm, you know, viewing, it could either tell me there is something wrong with me and it'll inspire me to be do better, or there's nothing wrong with me and we're all just friends, right? It, so really, like, if that's all you're looking for, it's kind of, you can get it in a lot of different ways, which is kind of crazy because it's just like, maybe you want something to be wrong with you. Maybe you're just so hooked on the thought that there's something wrong with you when you could just as well just forget it and just move on. But it might still be there, you know what I mean? it might still haunt you, it might still plague you. So it's almost kind of paradoxical. It's kind of a paradox in itself, to kind of get wrapped up in all of that. And it's like, it's almost like you can't escape, or you're just kind of doomed to be a kind of almost a victim of it. But that's another thing is some people don't like the whole idea of making yourself into a victim. So, I don't like to try to victimize myself. I think I'm about done talking here because I think I pretty much explained the point. But it's like I don't really like victimizing myself too much, but I guess I don't really like glamorizing myself, like, some kind of vigorously robust course of action to show everybody how great I am. But then again, it could be the opposite way too. It's just like socially diffusing everything about yourself to the point where you can just hang out and laugh and have a good time. So there's like a bunch of different people that I think like almost like enable different behaviors like that. I think most people don't want to think about how there's something wrong with them because they know it. And then sometimes there's nothing they can do about it. And if you don't want to change it, then you're not going to change it. And sometimes it takes years for people to be able to tweak themselves appropriately. You know what I mean? Like there are things about me that I guess I didn't really notice, and I started to notice things, and I'm like, well, I can do my best to tweak some of these things. But some of this stuff is just kind of hopeless when it comes to other people. It's like trying to convince someone. It's like having a you can't. It's almost like you can't even have a casual conversation with someone. It's almost like you can't just have a good time. I think that's like part of growing up is realizing you can't just like hang out with people anymore. It became too complicated. People got things to do. You got to go to work, and then what else you gonna do, man? Party? That's takes so much energy, man. I would rather be like learning something to make more money so I don't have to work. Jeez. Yeah, that's probably the best way. That's probably the best way. You know? Well, if you're working a job, right? And all your free time, you're just doing nothing and having this space that tells you there's nothing wrong with you. And you know what I mean? Because that's what people like. They like to listen to music or play a video game or watch a game streamer or TV or something to just kind of zone out. But then it's like, well, are you really doing any? But I also think it's a dead end road too, because it's like sometimes you learn stuff, sometimes you have sometimes you have a gift or talent, but it's not used correctly, or it's just not something that people are really too into at the moment. Because like some people get really lucky and they're really popular with their skill, and then they drop off. But there's a lot of ways to have a skill, get lucky with your skill. Go into business in some way or another. I think a lot of the time I just talk about entertainment because I'm trying to succeed in it, but people do a lot of different things, and they have a lot of different jobs and pursue a lot of different career opportunities. So I try not to get closed in that box too much. Kind of get lost in the comedy box a little bit too much, the performing arts too much. Yeah, and then everything you talk about is kind of referring back to that, and it's like, I'm just a robotic machine. I need to get out more, and by that I mean I need to expose myself to a little bit more of the internet. Because actually what I realized is the things that I've been doing this a long time, and um just real quick, I think I'm about done here, but um shedding light on the whole having something wrong with you situation. But but so I was kind of scared to okay, this is gonna sound kind of weird or something. Or it's gonna sound like I mean, I don't want to make myself sound like a pussy or something, but so I was kind of like not wanting to look at things online. And I think part of it was comparing myself because I was like this guy that would just like make jokes online a lot, and I was trying to, I was trying to succeed as just like an internet comedian, just like doing jokes and stuff. And I'd always see other people who would make jokes, and I wasn't able to just like resonate with other people like them. And eventually I started to get on camera and stuff and try a lot of different things, which kind of helped me open myself up. But it did take a lot of years of work to try to like understand how to like do it well, and how to get on a grind to try to, try to get lucky. Basically, like if you do a good job, then somewhere along the line, you might get lucky and it might pay off. But probably most people, they don't really get that lucky with it, and it's just really hard. So you can't really beat yourself up like there's something wrong with you, you know what I mean? And that's and that's the whole idea too, you know. I think some people go online and brainwash themselves because they don't really have a like they don't really know what's going on, or they don't really have a good idea what's happening. Like they get the wrong impression of something, and then they just kind of like are the way they are. Cuz like some people are just so like terrible. They're just so like, wrapped around the whole idea of being better, and that's just their whole kind of entire existence. And as long as they can convince you of it, then it empowers you, you know? That's what a lot of people do. Like if you play a game, if you're a game streamer and you can play really well and you can do everything right, you just convince people that, you know. But as far as talking about that, it's kind of useless because like if I've because I like it too. I watch game streams, I watch music videos, I watch all that stuff too. So like for me to sit here and be like picking it apart and being like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with anyone. It's like it's not true, but at the same time, it's kind of chill too. So like I don't really have to get so wrapped up in it and really like, feel sad about it, or any of that stuff, because like that's the way I was kind of wrapped up in that for a while. Just like what social media tells you about yourself. Like you go on there and maybe people just don't like you. Maybe they hate you. Maybe you're not really that popular person. Like in real life it feels different. People are nice in real life. And you go online and it's a little bit different. You can kind of see all the numbers and stuff. You're like, how many people actually like the stuff you're saying, you know? And I think most people just go with the feeling, really. But um, so for a while, I kind of was like, I don't want to know. I don't know if I want to say I was scared to browse stuff, but I kind of just stopped because it just felt like it was repetitive and it got boring for one. I mean, because like you just start reading stuff and it's like the same stuff over and over. And then you're just reading someone's stupid little dramatic story about their life event or whatever. And it's like, I'm sorry, like I don't really want to put it this way, but it's just like it always is the same stuff. And it's like, man, I don't know. Like this is like almost like people are just like making stuff up to be dramatic and it's all actually fake. Like it's kind of funny. Like sometimes it's real, but it's not really like entertainment quality. So it's like real drama and real stuff that's going on, but it's not really like it's like ugh, you know. You need someone to translate that, because that's what a lot of like news stations and stuff do. They translate stuff, and then they try to make it like entertaining in its own informative fashion, you know. But I kind of did, stop browsing and stop looking at a lot of stuff because I was just not wanting to compare myself, and I guess I was kind of not like I didn't want to accept the reality of everything because I just was working so hard to get somewhere, and it just nothing ever really went my way, for a long time. And so that's kind of for me lately, that's kind of where I've been like, you know what, dude, you just need to like chill out, like stop tripping out about all of it, and just like not that I was really tripping, but I kind of was tripping like inside of myself, like almost like a quiet trip. Like, yeah, I'm so terrible, and you just feel bad because you just like you feel like this injured animal, Or you just feel like damaged goods. Like I said, you just feel like, man, I'm just never gonna like live up to this. Like I'm never gonna like, you know what I'm saying? It's like people that can't learn anything new. Like some of them, they know like they're like, man, I just can't do college. They can't go to college, man. They can't do it. They can't. They're just not a person who's able to do it. They just can't do it. They can't elevate their life, man. They can't. do something better, you know? And sometimes the jobs that we're given, it's almost like is it's like, is it really, some of the jobs they pay just as much as the jobs you would get with a college degree, like um so I don't know if I really want to get into that. Workforce problems. Hashtag workforce problems. Um but yeah, I'm starting to like expose myself more and to just be like open up and be like, yeah. But part of it's just like the nastiness. There's some nasty stuff online that you accidentally see and you're like, oh man, I don't want to see that. You know what I mean? So, or like some disturbing. There's a lot of disturbing stuff. Like I like to think of myself as like I'm a tough person, and I can handle things, and I do things in my own way. Like I can like write graphic stuff. I've written a lot of books. I've done a lot of graphic stuff. I can do like, but I can do like my own version of it. So it's kind of like, I don't know, man. Sometimes things are too real or too graphic, or they're like, it's just too much for me to pay attention to. Like I can't learn. I can't. I can't pay attention to these people. Like there's like a different genre of a human being. I can't do it. Like I need to find like it's like you need to find the right person to teach you something or whatever, or like the right person that's watchable. Like if someone is watchable to you, and that's like me right here. It's like I understand that it's pretty difficult to be watchable. So I'm trying to be watchable every day of my life that I post something online. I'm trying to do the best that I possibly can, but then I always feel like I'm not doing enough. There's something wrong with me. But that's just like I think that's the epiphany of the entire thing is realizing there is something wrong with you, but maybe you're just trying to perfect it or get like a lucky take or you know, you know, get yourself into the right zone. Because I do think that like when you try to do something with your life, you try to learn something, you try to take something on. I feel like it could take a long time for you to kind of get mentally prepared for that. Like just learning something like about history or politics or art or some, I don't know, like whatever, social dealings, realizing what's going on with you, you know realizing, hey, you have this problem, you need to fix it. But like some people, they're just not going to, man. They're just gonna be the same damn person. So it's like, oh, there's just something wrong with them. Maybe there's nothing wrong with them. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's something wrong with people, but the fact that they can't change it, maybe it's just indefinitely just, that's just the way they are. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, um, I think that my determination is basically to defy the odds and just be happy no matter what. But things do look kind of grim. But here's one more thing I'm going to talk about real quick is the whole I don't care about. Like no one cares. I don't care. No one cares about me. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares. Friends trying to make friends, trying to relationship, all this. I think it's kind of the same thing. Like as long as you pay attention to it, it's like, well, people are just living their lives, man. Like you can only care so much, man. People only have so much time to live. You know what I mean? So if they want to do what they want to do, they want to do. They want to do what they want to do. Sometimes people just don't want to. They don't want to spend time on friends and caring about other people. It's just they don't have time. They don't have time to care. I don't wish bad on anybody, but it's like I feel like I am recycling a lot of things from the internet though. So I'm trying not to do that. Like basically hop on here and just say some cliche thing that some other person said or just I don't know. Seems like even when I come up with something that seems a little bit unique, you can probably find it somewhere on the internet like someone said it somewhere. So, I don't know. I've been trying to expose myself to things. Maybe read a couple new books or something. Like I don't know, like go watch some actual informative videos because I feel like people are almost addicted to the stupidity of other people online because it's funny. Like that's all they really want to entertain themselves with now. And like I don't know, just addicted to that behavior to validate themselves. To tell themselves that there's nothing wrong with them, or to show them how to have everything right with them. It's kind of like either way. So it's just like it's almost just like a big joke. You know, it's like a big joke. It's just like like I don't really want it to be a big joke, but it's like, dude, I don't know. I feel like we're kind of all in the same shoes. You know, we just all smell different. Kind of all living the same life, the same dream, but we're just kind of locked inside herself and forced to be selfish. So, but I'm out of here. Have a good one.